What's happening, party people? Welcome to Punchboard Party. We bought a house. Come on in. We are in Saskatoon and we bought a new house and we are so excited to be here. And look, we have games. We have 3 boxes of board games and we have a shelf full. You may have remembered it was saran wrap before when we brought it here, and we just unwrapped that and we're going to unpack these boxes and unpack these shelves, because in this video I want to talk about the games that I am most excited to unpack. We are going to find out if I am kind of more of a cult of the new person, or if games that are older that I've had for a long time still spark joy in my heart. We're going to find out in today's video. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we have moved into our new house this weekend and we are so excited. So you saw me getting into our games that we packed for our journey from London to Saskatoon. And so we've unpacked them, sort of. I think I'll have to put them back into boxes and put them in the basement for a little bit before we get our furniture that we're going to put all of our games on and that sort of thing. So we're going to set up something downstairs as more of a studio. But for now, I'm just recording from the living room with my old setup, with my old shelf, and just like old times. So thank you for coming back, party people. I have 10 games that I was excited to unpack. When I saw them, they just brought joy to my heart. Not that others didn't, but these are the ones that stand above. Now within this number of 10, I don't have them ranked from 1 to 10 or anything. These are just 10 games that really stood out as games that I was very excited to unpack. And so I'm going to go through them with you quickly so that you can get a sense of kind of where I'm at in my gaming tastes and what I'm just kind of into or excited to try out right now, or games that I've been missing, not having the chance to play since they've been packed away for a couple months. So let's just get started with our first one. Right off the top, Red Rising. It was actually on the top of this shelf, so that's how it ended up on the top of the stack, because I was looking around for it and found it there. Red Rising, you all know that I really enjoy Red Rising. I was just so excited to see it here because, again, Red Rising is really close to my heart. Just the time that kind of came into my life coincided with the beginning of this YouTube channel, so it has nostalgia value there. But the game itself, I'm always just really excited to play it, and I'm really excited to show it to people because they always really enjoy it. I think a big reason is it's just so colorful, and I just love the combination of the card powers and just the different ways that you can utilize cards in this game. And it's pretty quick and snappy and fun with big scoring at the end, so it just feels really satisfying, really feels like you've pulled off something special when you get all the right cards into your hand. So Red Rising, really excited. If you haven't checked this out yet, please check it out. A fantastic game that I really enjoy that I think everybody should play all the time. First game that caught my eyes, we were unwrapping this shelf here, was Atlantis Rising, and that's because first off, this cover is just gorgeous, so it just really pops. And then just before I left London, me and the guys, we played this and really enjoyed it. We kind of fumbled our way through a first playthrough. We didn't quite win, we were 1 turn away from beating the game, but just the combination of kind of the cards that do bad things and a stack of library cards that do good things, and the technology that you're trying to collect resources to trade in for. What I really enjoy about the game is that it is, while it's a cooperative game, you're all working together, it's also a worker placement game. And so because of this worker placement dimension, you still feel like you kind of have your own individual agency. Yes, you're discussing with other players where you should go best, but you just have a lot of people that you can put at different locations. The board is also disappearing round after round. So and the disappearing tiles happens before the spaces activate. So you're always taking a bit of a risk by putting your workers on a particular space, because you might not actually be able to reap the reward because the tile will flood because Atlantis is sinking and not rising, unfortunately. I really love just the feel of it, that while it's cooperative, it still feels like you have individual say in the choices that you make, and you get to make your own risks as far as you think that you can still kind of beat the dice by placing a worker on a space that might disappear. Really thrilling game, just lots of cool things interconnected. Really glad that this was reprinted and brought back to us. What a banger. Next is Taverns of Tiefenthal. I talk about this game all the time, and no, I have still not played Taverns of Tiefenthal. Just before leaving London, I made a big effort to learn it, and it was going to be right next to be played, and I just didn't get it played. So, feeling a little discouraged about that. You'll notice that a lot of the games that really spark for me are games with just really kind of warm, colorful theming and art. And so I just love the comfort that this game exudes with the tavern theme and just the kind of hospitality theme, just bringing people in from the cold and giving them nice warm schnapps. Dice worker placement, light to medium dice worker placement, always in my wheelhouse, always worth a shot. So again, I saw this as I was unpacking and I thought, ooh, yes, I still need to get this played. Elysium, I think this just speaks to how much I love this game. Because there's games that I unpack that I would rate higher than Elysium, it's true. And I didn't put them in the stack of games that I was most excited to unpack. And I think that's because I've always known that I've loved those games. I've loved those games for a long time. Those are games like Five Tribes and Jamaica and things like that. Games that are like at the real tippy top of my all-time games list. Because I've known that and been around forever, they just don't have the same sort of excitement feel. But Elysium still has that for me. Whenever I see this game, I still have that desire to play. And I think another reason for that is that I haven't played this game enough. I've played this game quite a bit, but whenever we've played, there's always been a bit of time between plays, so I always just use the basic card setup. And there's a bunch of different decks of cards in this game that you can play with that come with different variations on powers and abilities and these kinds of things. Each deck of cards corresponds to a different god, and the different god sort of makes for a different setup, so maybe more conflict or more outlandish abilities or whatever the case may be. I've only played with the standard setup, so I still have more of this game to play. So every time I see it, I'm like, oh yes, I want to play that again. I just have that constant feeling. So Elysium, one of my favorites, always want to play it again. If you can find it, check it out. It's so good, so good. This next one surprised me. This is Seven Wonders. So this has been in my collection almost since the very beginning. You can see I have the older edition of the game. And as I was unpacking, I saw it and my heart skipped a little bit of a beat. And I thought, you know what? I'm a bit of a hipster when it comes to games. When people like games a lot or too much, I just tend to sort of avoid those games and kind of look for games that are also really good that not everybody else is talking about. I like to find something that I can introduce people and say, hey, have you played this? And they say no, and I can say, oh, you're in for a treat. I just like that experience. When people are really, really into a game, I kind of avoid it. But Seven Wonders still, despite everything, weaseled its way into my heart. And I think the pandemic had a big thing to do about that. Me and my buddies, we played on BGA. We played Seven Wonders a lot because we could play it really quickly. And just, it is fantastic to play a quick game of Seven Wonders and just, out of that hand of cards that you're drafting from, just continuously picking the best card for your situation, feeling like you're on the right track and feeling like you're just in the zone, especially when you play it a lot and you know kind of what's best more often than not. You just can be like, take this one, 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 not this one, take this one. It is a great feeling to be in the zone when playing Seven Wonders. So Seven Wonders kind of snuck up on me. Really excited to unpack Seven Wonders. This next one, first out of the box, also another older game. So first game that I unpacked here, and I was just like, whoa, yes! And again, it's a game that I forget about when it's not in sight, and then when I see it, I cannot help but fall in love over and over and over again. Dogs of War is an amazing tactical worker placement tug of war game. If you have not played Dogs of War, do yourself a favor, run out, pick it up. It is amazing. I wanted to put this on my underrated list, but then everybody puts it on their underrated games list, and it's not even below the top 1,000 on Board Game Geek anyway. So people know about this game, people talk about this game a lot, but I just want to reiterate to you, Dogs of War is absolutely amazing. I love just the tension that it creates by, you have these spots on the board that have these spaces where you'll get certain rewards by putting your characters, your workers, on these spaces, but at the same time, it's all wrapped up in kind of an area majority, area control style game. Whereas if you have the majority on one side of a given conflict, then you're going to get more rewards and more points, and those houses are going to win, and you're going to be collecting points for the different houses as they win battles and victories. And it is just fantastic. And there's these tactics cards which really make the game come to life, so they kind of screw with the rules and in fantastic and beautiful ways. And so the last time we played this, which was fairly recently, we just had an absolute blast, and it went down to the wire, and it was just so good. And there's so many facets of the game, and it is so good. So good. Okay, that's Dogs of War. This next one is Broom Service. So Brad, my buddy, he was giving away a couple games when he was moving, and so I got this off of him because Broom Service has been on my list forever since it came out. It won the Spiel des Jahres, not Spiel des Jahres, it won the Kenner Spiel des Jahres in 2015, and people are kind of upset about that. They don't think that it deserves that distinction. They think this game is okay, but it's not really great. People that I talk to, my buddies who have played it, including Brad and Scott, they're like, it's fine, but nothing to really whoop-de-doo about. But as I was looking into this game, I just was so excited about it. The main core mechanic is that you have a hand of cards, and there's like a good action and there's an okay action on the card, and you pick your card simultaneously as other players, and then you decide if you're going to do the big action or the okay action. If you decide to do the big action, if another player also picked the same card or the big action on that card, then you don't get to do the action at all. So the okay action is always a safe bet, but it's not as good. So I just love that kind of tension, that bluffing, that kind of second guessing in a game. And I just love a good pick up and deliver game. And I haven't found too many of them. So I was really looking forward to seeing if this was going to be a good pick up and deliver. And so why I was excited to unpack it was that now I get to actually try it out. So very excited to give Broom Service a try. Okay, we got a few more games left. This one's not going to be a surprise, I don't think. Especially if you've had a chance to play it, then you know what this is all about. This is Dune Imperium, baby. Oh my gosh. Well, it's not Dune Imperium, baby. That's not the name of the game. It's just Dune Imperium, and then baby. But Dune Imperium is so good. This is the best deck builder I've ever played with a board, and maybe the best deck builder I've ever played. Dune Imperium is so good. It's so good. One thing that I love about Dune Imperium is that the scoring is really low. You're kind of racing to 10 points, and you might get like 12, 13, 14 points if you're really good at the game. But I just love that every point you accomplish matters so much, and each point is fairly hard to come by. You're really squeezing the life out of this game every time that you put a worker out on the board, every time you buy a card. You're just really, every time you move up one of the tracks to influence one of the clans or societies or whatever, you really feel like you've gotten your money's worth out of this game every time you play it. It's just such a satisfying, thinky, but fun, tense experience. I can't say enough good things about Dune Imperium. So, really excited to get this off the shelf. This next one I totally forgot about. Totally forgot about it. This is Whistle Mountain. I bought this a few months ago with you guys on video. Decided with a flip of the coin and got this in my cart, and it's still in shrink. I didn't have enough time to play it before we left and put it on the shelf, and I just forgot that I owned it. I forgot that I bought it. And so as I was unwrapping the shelf back here, I spotted it. I went, oh yeah, sweet. And so this was one that the excitement factor is just like, ooh, shiny, new game in shrink, haven't played it before. So this is totally the Cult of the New side of me, just geeking out. So far, I think I'm doing all right with the Cult of the New situation. I got some games I'm excited about that are definitely Cult of the New, some games I'm excited about that are fairly older, been in my collection for a long time. So I feel like I'm riding a nice line. But Whistle Mountain, so again, worker placement game. Don't know a whole lot about this. Polyomino shapes that you're kind of working into a grid, and then you get these upgrade abilities and these cogs with different bonuses. Again, don't really know much about how it works. It just has a really good amount of buzz about a good medium weight worker placement game. So very excited to give this a try, get a shrink, and rock this one. I think I'm going to really enjoy it a lot. I was nervous about the polyomino stuff, but I recently played Llama Land. I think I'm going to talk to you guys about that soon. I recorded a video back at our friend's place that I might upload about Llama Land, and that kind of got me back into thinking that maybe polyominoes aren't so bad after all. So excited for Whistle Mountain. The last game I want to talk about in this stack of games here that I'm really excited to unpack is a game that I talk about a lot, and I think I'm fairly alone in my love for this game, and as far as how much I love this game, and my wife Sarah as well. It's a huge hit. We're going to friends tonight. We're going to bring Llama Land because we're kind of high on that right now, and we're also going to bring this. This is Luxor. Luxor, again, if you have not given this a try, go on to BGA, Board Game Arena, right now. Give it a go. I think it's better in person just because the tactical experience is something special. Mainly just the main mechanic, right? You got a hand of cards, and on your turn you can play one card, but you can only play the card that's furthest to your left or to your right in your hand. And then when you draw a card, you put it in the middle of your hand. And so that experience is just really satisfying tactilely. It is a very satisfying tactile experience, just to be like, ooh, and just feeling that sense of restriction when you're choosing between those two cards. And then essentially it's just a race around a temple, picking up tiles for set collection purposes, and then there's some luck thrown in there, and it's just a really kind of fun, fairly quick, exciting, kind of thrilling game where you have moments where someone makes a big move and jumps ahead of the pack and you're like, whoa, or if you're that person, you're like, yes! Luxor, just a really good fun. And again, I'm talking Thanksgiving weekend here, it's a Thanksgiving Monday, and I just, this feels like a nice autumn game. Just I can, have a pumpkin spice latte on hand, relaxing with family, friends, playing a nice simple family game, Luxor. So there we have it, party people. Those are 10 games that I was excited to unpack. We're still settling in here. We just moved in on Friday and we're still just getting the house settled. We don't have a bunch of furniture. We still have to order a ton of our furniture to get it all set up. But really excited that we're in our own space now and that we're kind of making Saskatoon home again. I just love that. And we're going to be able to get kind of a more regular routine. I have a desire. I'm not good at this. So I'm really bad at consistently bringing the content and the type of content that I bring. But I have a big desire to bring some consistent, regular content to you guys. And so I have some ideas and we'll see if they come to fruition. But otherwise, I'm still going to be coming to you regularly in some way, shape, or form, talking about the thing that we love, board games. So until next time, party people, have the best day.